What does it mean to be the first? It's not always about being the first to walk on the moon, but it might mean being the first to see the moon in a brand new way. At UCalgary Science, we're here for the firsts. First discoveries, first successes, first experiences, first jobs. And we want to be your first choice for a groundbreaking science education, for hands-on research, career connections, and world-renowned instructors. Your first stop on the way to a limitless future.
The Faculty of Science is a place where things are happening. This is a university and a city where science gives you endless opportunity. Industry is transforming, the economy is booming, and science and innovation is at its heart. And you can do all this right here in this beautiful, welcoming place where you can make your own first.
So bring your first passion, your first, now I see it, your first, I can fix this, and your first step on a lifelong journey. Because science is a series of small firsts, and when we string them all together, we transform the world.
Perfect. Go ahead, Nancy.
Oh, thank you. Wow, that was an inspiring video.
Yep.
So, good morning, everyone. I'd like to welcome you with, I should say it could be afternoon or evening, whatever time zone you're joining us from. So welcome to you at UCalgary. And as you can see, our special presentation from us, the Faculty of Science. I want to start off with a land acknowledgement. Today, all of us are situated in Calgary, Alberta, and on the traditional lands of the peoples of Treaty 7, located in the heart of southern Alberta. The people of Treaty 7 include the Blackfoot Confederacy, comprised of the Siksika, Piikani, and Kainai First Nations, the Tsuut'ina First Nation, and the Stoney Nakoda, including the Chiniki, Bearspaw, and Goodstoney. And the city of Calgary is home to Métis Nations of Alberta, Districts 5 and 6. And we recognize that we are guests on this beautiful land. And a land acknowledgement is a start to our commitment to learning from the past. It's also important that we listen to the voices of Indigenous peoples and we work together towards a future of reconciliation and mutual respect. So my name is Nancy Chibry, and I'm the Associate Dean of Undergraduate Programs at Student Affairs in the Faculty of Science. And on behalf of the entire Faculty of Science, I am so thrilled to welcome you to our vibrant and diverse community. We are committed to fostering a supportive environment that nurtures not only your academic, but your personal and professional growth. And as you embark on this exciting journey, remember that you are not alone. Our faculty, staff, and as you can see even here today, fellow students, we're all here to support you every step of the way. Whether you need academic assistance, guidance on campus, resources, or just simply someone to talk to, we are all here for you. And during your time, as you saw from the video, you will have the opportunity to explore new ideas, discover your passions, and make lifelong connections. Take advantage of all the opportunities available to you, both inside and outside, as you saw from the video of the classroom. Your time at the University of Calgary is what you make of it, so make it extraordinary. So now I'm going to pass you over to William Doby, who's our Senior Undergraduate Specialist in our Undergraduate Science Center. So over to you. Or maybe you're on this side, William. I know, I'm not sure if it's on the screen.
Hi, everyone. My name is William Doby. I'm the Senior Undergraduate Specialist at the Undergraduate Science Center. So myself with our whole team of advisors are here to support you on your journey through your academics. So I guess the first thing we should be chatting about is, what is program advising? What supports do you get at the university, specifically in science, right? So, what does an advisor do? So we're here to help you with your graduation and your degree requirements. So as you're progressing through the program, you're like, I'm not too sure which courses I should be taking. I'm not too sure how to progress. What is a prerequisite? What's an anti-requisite? We're here to help you with all those pieces with our abundance of resources online, but also our physical in-person appointments, online appointments, phone calls, front desk staff, lots of different resources. The nice thing about our programs too, or just University of Calgary in general, is we have something called a change of program. So if you start in a program, you're like, I'm in biology and I really love biology when I was in high school, and now I took a chemistry course and now I want to pursue chemistry. You can change your program while at the university. And then this is something that we help you with. Right? What courses transfer from your bio degree and what do they transfer as in your chemistry degree? If you want to switch from science and go into business, or maybe you're in engineering and you want to move into science, right? We're here to help support those applications. GPA, academic standing, we're here to help you support you with those items as well. So if you're struggling in courses, what kind of resources do you have, right? Other than your professors and TAs and all these other pieces you have, right? Can we connect you with central services just to ensure that you are, performing and succeeding in your academic journey? And then of course, your course selection, right? What everyone's probably here for, right? One of the items for coming at U of Calgary, at U of Calgary, other than seeing all the great resources we have here, is being able to register a little bit earlier, getting all of those courses you're eager to attend, actually selecting those courses a little bit early. So we're here to help you with that. Any questions, you're welcome to come and ask us. We are open during the summer, so you're welcome to stop on by with any of those kinds of questions. We also work on the dean's list, right? Those high achieving academic students who are recognized by our faculty as high achievers. So we're here to help process those lists, review, again, just ensuring that you are achieving those grades that you want to have success at the program level, registration troubleshooting, grad checks, letters, any other kind of resources. If you're not too sure where to go, feel free to come to the Undergraduate Science Center, and we're more than happy to either answer your question or find you the resource to connect with. Your student center is going to be your hub while you're at the university. So ensure that you're saving that my.ucalgary.ca. That has all of your information on it for your student record, how to register for courses, checking your grades, paying for your tuition, changing your program, adding a minor, adding a certificate. This is going to be one of your major hubs while at the university. So that's something I wanted to quickly to highlight for this. One thing that we hear from students a lot is, I received my first year guide and I love my first year guide, and it really explains, what first year is. And you guys should be receiving those with your welcome letters. You should see them in your My UCalgary emails. But what we heard from students is they really want to know, what does your full 4-year look like? So we do have these guides available on our website. So an example here, we have our computer science degree that shows you what your 4 years looks like. And certainly this can be daunting, like, oh, that's a lot of courses, there's a lot of words in there. I have no idea what a non-major field option is. What is a computer science breadth course or a field course, and what do all these mean? We are here to help you with those pieces, so feel free to drop by one of the advising drop-in hours if you'd like. We're happy to support you. So in addition to your first year course, you can scan that QR code that I have on the screen there, and it will bring you to a page that will list all of the different majors that we have with their program sequencing guides, so you guys have an idea of what you need to take, when you need to take it. If you're ever looking to deviate from this, that is perfectly fine. You're going to come in and chat with an advisor, and we're here to help you. I'm not going to give you this page and just say, go figure it out for the 4 years, right? We have an abundance of resources here to assist you in your academic journey. And one of the other large highlights that we have is our science co-op program. So a lot of you will have co-op programs from high school. Maybe you completed them, and maybe that's help kind of direct your academic journey when you go to post-secondary. We're here to do the exact same thing. So now that you had some experience maybe with co-op in high school, what's the next step? Can you do co-op again, but at a university level, right? So it's a paid work experience in a professional environment. You are getting credit for that as well, which is fantastic. So it can go towards option credits and whatnot. You're networking while you're in our co-op program. You're developing all of your kind of technical, professional, personal skills while you're attending this co-op program and participating. You get a really nice designation on your transcript and degree, and you can maintain your full-time student status while doing this. Lots of different opportunities, different times, different businesses that you're actually able to go and participate in co-op. So keep that in mind when you are progressing through university. And you're like, hey, like, I want to add more to my degree. I want to do more. I love the teaching and learning, but I actually want to bring it out into the workforce. And I actually want to say, do I actually like computer science? And, do I want to pivot and maybe go more into actuarial sciences or data sciences, right? And that's going to help you in your program. Okay, now I think there was a few questions, and I want to take a quick opportunity to see if you guys have any questions before we jump into the rest of the pieces. So I'm going to quickly take a piece. Oh, look at this. We'll show it again. Yes, the QR code. Thank you, Nancy, for taking um, answering those questions. So fantastic, great. I can continue with the piece. Does anyone have any quick questions about the quick content that I shared before we start going into maybe the panel shortly? You're like, no, I'm just very, very eager. There's so many cool things to learn, and I want to hear from the students. I know I'm totally with you there. Um, any advice for students taking a dual major? Yeah, I mean, certainly if you want to do two majors, you want to do concurrent programs, right? You're looking to have two majors on your degree. It's just come and chat with an advisor. I think that's the biggest thing to do. Let's plan out that academic journey to ensure that you guys have success, right? That you're not taking courses that are not going towards those two different majors. That's, I think, very, very important. That's the biggest piece. Yeah, and then there's a few other questions that we have Nancy and some of our student panelists that will be answering as I continue, but we'll certainly have lots of opportunity for you guys to ask your questions after we start that panel. So what I'll do is I'll jump back into the presentation as they're answering some of those questions, and I think we have another quick video to share with you guys.
I'm Rex, the UCalgary mascot and #1 Dinos fan. This incoming class is looking dynamite. Cheering for dinos is my thing. Without you guys, I'd be a Tyrannosaurus wreck. Jurassic times call for Jurassic measures, so I've got a roarsome challenge just for you. Keep an eye on your inbox. I'll post details shortly. This challenge will be online, not in the field, so you won't have to worry about getting dinosaur. Complete my challenge and you'll enter to win the U at UCalgary Rex's Challenge Award, valued between $1,000 and $2,500 Canadian dollars. Be sure to watch your email for more instructions after the event. Go Dinos!
All right. So now what we'll do is we'll get into the panel. So I have a few questions to start us off. I'll stop sharing my screen so we can see everyone's beautiful faces. So what we'll do just to start off is please feel free to introduce yourself, the year that you're in, the major, and maybe something that you're involved in, if it's extracurricular or not. So what we'll probably do is we can start with Rebecca. If everyone's in the same, it looks like everyone's in the same view for me. So we'll start with Rebecca and kind of go down the list, ending with Evan.
Hi everyone, good morning. I'm Rebecca. I'm in the final part of my third year. I'm going to my fourth year now. I'm in natural sciences. I concentrate in mathematics and biology. I'm also the team lead for the experiential learning team of the Science Ambassadors. It's an extracurricular that the Faculty of Science offers.
Hi everyone, my name is Ibadad. I'm a third year undergraduate student in biological sciences. Outside of class, I'm involved with research at the Hotchkiss Brain Institute with the Ismail Lab, currently looking at dementia risk indicators.
Hey, it's my turn. Hey guys, I'm Evan. I'm a first year combined degree student in computer science and data science. Um, One extracurricular that I'm involved with is the Data Science and Machine Learning Club, where I'm an admin executive. We like plan events and stuff. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you. So the first question I have is, what challenges did you face in first year? And then how did you find the appropriate resources to help you with some of those challenges during first year? Rebecca, yeah, you can go ahead.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
perfect. So, my circumstance for my first year was quite different because it was during COVID. Uh, my main challenge during that time was regarding like more governmental stuff. So, with my visa. Uh, so, as an international student, it is quite painful that part of the journey. So, it is quite chaotic. It can be really tough at times. However, the university has several resources regarding that kind of stuff for international students. So I was really afraid of, for example, coming to Canada, how it was going to be when I got here. So, what was the process of entering the country as an international student with this study permit? So the faculty and the university helped a lot with that. We do have the international student office, so you can reach out anytime if you have any trouble with that.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
I would say my biggest challenge was adjusting to the campus environment because it was also during COVID and it was very different from like the small high school I attended. So to adjust, I remember just like getting as involved with different clubs and events, whether they were online or in person, to kind of just like immerse myself and develop like a better sense of community. So I think that once I started volunteering, like attending different events on campus, being a part of different clubs, it allowed me to feel really engaged on campus, which aside from your academics, I think is a really important part of being in university. And it just made that adjusting process a lot more fun and engaging.
Perfect. Thank you. Evan?
My biggest challenge was definitely the academic side of university. At least for me, the high school that I went to maybe might have boosted our grades a little bit. So high school was pretty easy compared to the classes that I've been taking in university, especially with like taking two majors. So the biggest thing was like learning how to manage all that, and then extracurriculars, stuff that I was doing like for like places back home, and then new extracurriculars here, just trying to balance it all and like figure out a schedule where I wasn't pulling like 14-hour days every day was the biggest challenge for me. And what helped the most was the seminars and stuff that the Student Success Center puts on. If you guys don't know, the Student Success Center is like an organization within the university that just helps students succeed, like in the name, right? And they have all these workshops on time management and how to study effectively, just and all this stuff to help you be more efficient. So that you can do fun stuff outside of your classes instead of just spending all day doing your classes. And that was what helped me the most, just going to these workshops.
Good. Thank you. Thank you. Next question before we go to the audience. So audience, feel free to start typing in some questions and I'll answer them live. So at university, students can expect many changes from their high school experience. One of those changes is that they'll have professors and teaching assistants instead of teachers. How are professors, TAs, instructors at the University of Calgary different than high school teachers? Rebecca, feel free to go.
I guess the main change is, so as an international student, one of the things that you need to get used to is how things are different from country to country. So as during high school in Brazil, we are obviously are really welcoming, like people, we're really close to one another. So like obviously I treated my professors, my teachers during high school really close. I had like the phone number of some of them. And when I came here, I realized that how things worked here was quite different. So at first I was really intimidated, obviously, because like professors, they seem so like, oh my God, so they have like so many degrees and they know so much. But once you start going to classes, you realize that it's not quite as different. So obviously the relationship works in a different way, but you find ways to get really close to them. So like you can go to office hours, they are extremely welcoming to questions, and to like, even if you have like some, I don't know, questions about like your journey, if you're like, oh, I'm planning to like change, you can go to your professors and like talk to them about like, oh, how was your experience? Did you follow like, how was your journey to acquire such a position? So you have several opportunities to talk to them. So for example, I would always like go to like at the end of the lectures, go talk to them during office hours, when it is like those professors, they have a time offered for the students of that specific class. So they're so welcoming, so you shouldn't be afraid to reach out, even though, for example, as an international student, you might be beyond intimidated by the professors. You might be intimidating of talking to them in English. So like how you might be for example, I sometimes I get so nervous that my English gets so confusing, but they are so like patient with that. So you don't need to be afraid just because you might be a little bit nervous talking to them. So just take your time, it's my advice.
Good. No, that's great advice. Hi, Bidat.
I think one of the main differences that I noticed is that professors and TAs, they're so busy outside of teaching, which is compared to like high school, I guess your teachers are more readily available to answer questions like during lunchtime and things like that. But professors and TAs have so many different things going on, so many different projects, and they might not always get to your emails right away. So I think the best thing, the advice I would give is to utilize the time that you have with your professors or TAs. So whether that's in your lab asking questions or right after class with your professor, or I think like attending office hours, because it's better to utilize the time they do have rather than waiting for a long time for a response for an email, because everyone has a lot of things to do outside of class and we have to learn as students to respect that as well.
I think that's a really good point. Yeah, the office hours, dedicated time in their schedule to meet with students, and those are typically found on your course outlines or course syllabus. So make sure when you're starting university that you kind of highlight those sections. So if you do have questions or follow up to your profs, you go to those hours, because when they're not teaching you, they might be teaching a different course with other students, or maybe the same course with other students. So yeah, office hours. I think that's a fantastic point. Evan?
Yeah, mine's like my advice is kind of the same thing. Compared compared to high school, like you get so many opportunities to interact with your teachers. And because of how busy professors and TAs are in university, I mean, TAs are students too, professors are off doing their research or teaching other classes. Um, there's there's a lot less opportunity to interact with them. So you should make sure that you're taking advantage of the opportunities that you do get to interact with them, like your tutorials, office hours. If you can email them and they're responsive, um, because like aside from just like helping out with the course and being able to ask questions about stuff you don't understand, professors and TAs are so involved in the on-campus community that they can help you with other opportunities. Like if it wasn't for talking with one of my data science professors, I never would have found out about the data science machine learning club, and I wouldn't be an executive in the club if I hadn't gone to her office hours and spoke with her. Hey, do you know any data science opportunities on campus? Just stuff like that, right?
No, that's fantastic. No, thank you. Thank you for that. All right, some questions that were slowly kind of popping in. For Rebecca, just as an international student, how was working as an international student? How was your experience with, obtaining a work permit, or I mean, it's part of your student visa, I guess. But yeah, how was working while in Canada as an international student?
So I haven't I'm not part of the internship. I do believe we did have a change, if I'm not wrong,
Mhm.
in part of the internship because it was quite different. So maybe you have more insight about it.
Yeah, no, but
Yeah.
did you like do you have a job on campus maybe, or are you like working outside of
Um,
school, or I mean, focusing on school is also incredibly important as well. So,
Yes, no, I haven't
fair
really.
enough.
To be honest, I have. It's something that I'm quite intimidated with. So, since it is governmental stuff, so sometimes it can get really chaotic. But I don't. I know that if I was interested, I could reach out and
Hmm.
have help with that. So
Hmm.
I do have some. What I usually do is when I go back to Brazil, I usually stay uh spring and summer. I do work there, but it's not like as it is a different experience as if I was working here. Yeah.
Hmm. No, that's fantastic. Um, and then any advice for a future actuarial science student?
I guess the advice I can give to, like, I'll expand it not for actuarial science but to other degrees, is take a look at the courses that you have for the specific major. So we do have a part of the website for the university where you can see all the courses of that specific subject. So take a look at them. You can have access as well to some of the outlines of previous years. So you can open them. You have information about this, the stuff that will be covered during the course. Obviously, each major has so many opportunities with clubs where you can talk to students in that specific major. It's always a great opportunity, not only for getting involved with people and like getting to know everyone, but you also get to hear about their own experience. And also, as I believe William shared, the course outline for the 4 years. So taking a look at them is always a great opportunity. You notice that you have, for most of the degrees, if not for all of them, the planned outline. So you have a great understanding of what is to come.
Mhm. No, that's great. And I think maybe to just to add on to that, those program sequencing guys that I was talking about, they are set for 4 years because the vast majority of people want to finish in 4 years. But if you're looking to finish in 5 years and you want to spread out your course load, you're welcome to do that. So please feel free, something like that. You can just drop by the advising office and we can help you plan that 5 years instead of four. If you're looking to, maybe work a little bit slower on the academics, maybe because you have other priorities, maybe you're an athlete, or maybe you're working part-time at the same time, we can help kind of balance that a little bit.
Yes, and I also wanted to add on that
Yeah.
because I see so many students, once they are in their first year, realizing that maybe 4 years is not for you, and that's completely okay. So, like, you don't need to worry about that. So, if you plan everything, you have all the opportunities on campus to talk to people who know how to do that, and don't worry about it. So, like, if you're not fitting into what you expected that your university life would be, that's completely fine. So,
Mhm. No, fantastic. There's a question about scholarships. So do scholarships show up in my UCalgary finances section? Part of it will eventually go there, but you want to be looking at the university's just central page for a list of all the scholarships that we have. Does anybody have any experience with scholarships on the panel? I think Evan does, right? Evan, do you want to talk about your experience with scholarships?
Yeah, hold on, I'm just trying to find the question. Is it in the open or answered section?
It'll be in the open section. I'm just kind of adding on to it. He just wanted to know about scholarships.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to just jump off of that and say, what is the experience with scholarships?
So available scholarships, if you go into your student center and then you go to finances and you scroll to the bottom, there's like an apply for awards section. and that shows you what scholarships you can apply for. And it's dependent on like whether you're first year or whether you're a high school student, and blah, blah, blah. And then once you get scholarships, you'll get both an email to your Outlook with your UCalgary email, and then after a little while, the scholarship will pop up in your student center under awards. I hope that helps.
Yeah, no, that's perfect. Thank you. There's a question about admissions and IB results. For that, what I would say is just reach out to science.advising@UCalgary. I'll respond to your question through there if you'd like, and I'm happy to take a quick peek at those specific admission requirements for an individual and transfer credit in those items. I'm an international student in the upcoming session of biological sciences. If I complete my graduation from biomedical science, can I still do my master's in biomedical science? Yes, the answer would be yes. You still have to apply for those graduate level programs, and then you certainly want to reach out to immigration just to ensure your student visas and whatnot are adequate just for the remainder of your stay if you're looking to extend your stay in Canada.
I also wanted to add that we do have the graduate studies office that you can reach out. They can help you with planning that transition. So sometimes, for example, in Brazil, you would only be able to do a master's in the subject that you did your bachelor's degree. So, however, if I'm not mistaken, here in Canada, it's not quite like that. So obviously you would need some prereq courses, but I'm sure that if you reach out to the office, they might be able to help with that.
Okay, well, question, I'll go back to some of my predetermined questions so we can have everyone chat. So the next question is, what would you have liked your parents or guardians to have known or kind of supported you with while you entered your first year at university? I know sometimes people are first generation, right? And that makes it a little bit difficult because maybe their parents haven't gone through that post-secondary experience. But yeah, what would you like your parents or guardians to have known?
Yeah, something is quite curious because I was discussing that with my mother a few months ago. That obviously, as an international student, you can get quite afraid of changing the culture. Suddenly, you are in this different country with people who obviously you have a different culture. People, I wouldn't say they behave differently, but there are some costumes that you might need to like address. And my mother, she was really afraid that I might be bullied when I came to Canada, that I might not fit in, and that even I wouldn't be as secure here, that obviously in Brazil I would have all the resources available if something happened. But I wanted to like address that you have so many support systems at the university, and I wish my mother knew that so she wouldn't be as worried and that we wouldn't be so afraid of this new journey. So the university offers so many opportunities for you to I wouldn't say fit in, but like to really get used to how things work here. And everyone is so welcoming, so you don't need to be afraid of fitting in. So we have a huge community of international students. You will certainly find people from your country who will be able to like help you with that.
Perfect, thank you. My bad.
I think one thing that I noticed was that compared to high school, you're spending a lot more time on campus, just maybe depending on your courses and like extracurriculars and things that you're involved with. So like something I noticed was that my parents were kind of worried about all this extra time that I used to be spending at home. For me, it was just like a chat and developing like a sense of understanding that like a university level education is way different than a high school level education, and you get so much growth and just like learning out of like extracurricular activities. You have labs that you have to attend, just like doing classwork in groups at like on campus. So I think just coming to that sense of like trust with them, that you know it's a different experience and you're both kind of in it together, but you're going to be, I guess, more like away from home in a sense, even if you're staying at home.
Yeah, no, that's great. Evan?
I'm just trying to think. I think I think one thing that I would have liked my mom to know, um, is that so she sent me a care package at the beginning of the year. I think I'd like her to know that I would really like some more care packages because they're I don't know, I live on res. There's sometimes when the DC food, the dining center food isn't that great. Um, and you know, the care packages make it nice. I'd also like her to know that at least for like the first little bit, uh having like having the support from her. Because she really pushed me to go out and try new things when I first got to university. I know I'm a little bit of a homebody. So she was telling me to go to all these meetings, all these club events, whatever, right? And I really appreciate that because now I'm doing stuff. I'm out there, right? I think that's something that I would like her to know is that I appreciate how much she pushed me to do stuff when I first got here. Because I feel like when you're in this new environment, it's like scary. You know, you're not sure if you really want to go out and do these things, but you absolutely should.
Yeah, no, I think it's a great point. Try something new. If you don't like it, then you don't have to go and join all the clubs if you don't want to, right? But at least you tried to see what you like. But yeah, I think yeah, just that support, that open communication with your parents or a guardian or whatever your support group is. I think that's the key when going to university because everyone starts to change a little bit. They grow and they develop, and yeah, I think that's just that open communication. I think is the biggest part with your parents and support group. Um, I've heard there are student benefits such as dental, health, UPass. Can you expand on that? How do we sign up for these benefits? Now I can answer this, but does one of the student panelists also want to answer how they enroll in these? Rebecca, you can go. You're unmuted, so feel free to go.
Yeah, so I do have experience with the UPass. Has been a while,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I don't quite remember how to do it, but I know that you only it was so simple. You only needed to download the app for the transit system
Mhm.
for the city, and I guess you logged in with so you subscribed with your UCalgary email, and it was like there. So it was really simple.
Yeah, it's you'll actually see on your tuition breakdown for all the fees, the dental, the UPass, all those items are actually included in your tuition. Things that you can't necessarily opt out of, things like some of your dental and health, if you have coverage through maybe a parent or guardian, maybe if you're living in Calgary, then you can opt out of some of those items. But that's through your student union. So you want to ensure that you're going to your student union and say, hey, I actually have some of these coverages already. I don't need to pay for double coverage. So please opt me out. So make sure that you're chatting with your student union to ensure you're meeting those deadlines because you can't just opt out anytime you want to. They have specific dates and deadlines for that. So yeah, make sure you do that. But yeah, the UPass I think is super handy. Whether you live in Calgary or maybe you're living, maybe you're renting just off of campus, using that transit is quite handy. We do have two train stations that are quite close to university, as well as bus loops and everything like that. So you are in a nice transit hub, one of the larger hubs that we have in the city.
Yes, and also I wanted to add how simple and easy and practical it is to use the transit. So the train is so handy. So it's really close. Obviously, the campus is huge. So
Mhm.
you will end up walking a bit,
Mhm.
but you can get to so many places taking the train. So when I lived on Res, I would always take the train during weekends to go to the mall that we have at the downtown area, and it was so handy. So yeah.
Mhm. One of the other questions we have is what process would I need to take to enroll in a beginner English or beginner language class? I'm assuming English. Am I required to take some kind of placement test? So that's closer to admissions. I'd probably want to send you over to admissions for that. But there is something ELP, English Language Proficiency, that everyone must have coming in. Usually that's just a few courses, or maybe if you're from a country that is exempt from it, then that's something to look at. But if you're looking to enhance your reading, writing, speaking abilities, and that's certainly something that you want to reach out to Central, and we do have some of those English courses if you would like. Rebecca, coming from Brazil, did you have any experience? Did you take anything extra, or was it more of I'm in the class, I'm absorbing while I'm in class, and that's how I'm standing on
I
English?
guess, yeah, I started to like take English classes really young. So my mother knew from once I was born, she was like, she needs to know English because
Mhm.
she's a scientist. She would always tell me that English is the language of science, so you need to know it. So I started English classes when I was 3. So I spent all my life speaking English, but obviously it's so different from like class settings. So like obviously once when you're in class, okay, so you need to know your verb to be. You need to know like those like vocabularies that are really specific, and sometimes you think I'll never use it.
Mhm.
So when I remember my first class, I was in Brazil still since it was online, and I had trouble with my visa, and I opened the online class, and I won't be able to do it. I have no idea what this man is talking. I can barely understand it. But you notice that as you get really involved with the community, as you start going to classes and do assignments, it will come really naturally. So obviously taking an English course, if you're out of practice, if you're not as confident, it's great because you will build up the confidence, and it is confidence is such an important quality to have. And like will as an international student, you will not will, but it is common to not feel as confident as you engage in this other culture. So if you feel this is the best way to go, I'm sure that as William said, you can reach out to admissions and talk to them about the course.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Um, Next questions, I'd probably give this to Evan. How is residential life? What is dorm culture? How did you come to decision on which floor, which dorm to live in?
Yeah. Re so I'm in Rundle, and I originally chose to live in Rundle, which is one of the 2 traditional dorm housing for first years on campus. So it's like a tiny room, you get the beds on either side, right? And I originally chose it because it was cheapest. But I found that it, I mean, I might be biased because I stay in Rundle, but I think Rundle and Kananaskis to a lesser extent, but those guys are kind of lame, is better than the other dorm housing because of the community that you have access to. I hear from my friends in the other dorms, like International House, where you get single or double rooms, and Yamnuska and the other dorms, that there's not a community there like there is in Rundle or Kananaskis. In Rundle or Kananaskis, everyone is out, everyone's hanging out with each other. There's always something to do. The CAs are planning events. We'll have parties in the common area, right? So the I don't know how to answer the dorm culture part because it's different for every dorm in Rundle. Everyone kind of parties a lot. That's like our dorm culture. Um, but with like you get access to meet so many people in residence. Like that's the big thing about residential life is you just get to meet so many cool people. Like everyone's always out doing something, right? Like we'll go. There were there are actually two of the guys that live in my wing. They one night they decided to go on a hike in Lake Louise at 2 a.m. And I assume they wouldn't have done that if they hadn't been hanging out in the Rundle Common area. There's I think when you're trying to figure out what dorm you should live in, you should take the community into account. I think that Rundle or Kananaskis is the best choice because of the community. I hope that answers your question.
No, that's perfect. Thank you. Thank you. There's a question on cafeteria food. Since Evan mentioned that dining hall doesn't always have the best food, is there any other food supermarkets, things around? We do have like a central kind of cafeteria. It's in something called Mac Hall. That will have your kind of A&W, your Umi Sushi, Tim Hortons, all of those little kind of fast food places. There's also a fantastic Viet sub place too, so you want to make sure you can check that out. But otherwise, yes, we're really, really close to different stores around campus that are all in walking distance if you want. If there's a specific store, there's transit again if you want to take that, but there's a lot of grocery stores and convenience stores close to campus because we do have such a large community. We have 7,000 science students and 30,000 people on campus, something like that. We're like a small town. So yes, there's lots of resources around being such a large community.
Yes, and also I wanted to add that since I lived in Res during my second year, since I came here in my second year, so we do have what is the name of it? So we do have like at the university district, we have so many options. It is quite lively. So we have places that you can go to. Obviously, I would recommend the bookstore because I'm a bit biased because I'm always there. But we have several options of school supplies that you can go there to buy. There is a supermarket near the residential area that you can go by walking. So I did. That is quite handy to know where it is, but it's quite close. So.
Yeah, there's great like bubble tea shops that just opened up in University District and easy walking distance. I can walk there over lunch and back within an hour, so it's not a far walk for sure. We'll quickly go back to one question that I just want to make sure we hit before I go put that QR code back up so everyone can register for a hoodie and get that early registration. So I did want to go back and just kind of highlight, what is an advisor and why would you want to make an appointment with an advisor? Because I know it's a little bit different, maybe similar to a counselor that you might have in high school. But Rebecca, do you want to quickly talk about, in your mind, what is a student advisor? Have you visited one before? Obviously, yes, you have, but
Yes, so they are really helpful when it comes to. I usually go there when I have some trouble with like registration and like I also had some trouble with my honors application. So you can like usually what I do is I go in walk-in areas. Obviously, you can book in at one of the platforms that the university offers, which is Elevate. Remember that name because you will be using it at some point in your academic life. So you come in, usually they will, you go to the front desk, they will like offer you some like times during the day that they have available for you. Usually you can like have at the same day like an appointment. So yeah, so you can like talk to them about like, as William said, about like troubleshooting, about like courses that you're taking, like planning. Since I did like 2 years of university in Brazil when I came here, so I already had an idea of like how I should plan my courses. But yeah.
No, that's great. One question that kind of came up that I can probably throw into this is that, if you are stressed out about exams, you just want to talk to someone, what we can do is we can kind of direct you to like wellness services, so that is something like mental health supports that we have on campus that we can support you with. Because yeah, sometimes as an international domestic student, right, sometimes things get a little bit stressful. You just want to talk to someone. So we do have therapists and counselors on campus as well, just to ensure that mental health kind of support. Abadat, did you have any thoughts on student advising and maybe an experience you had with us?
Yeah, so I guess one thing to note is that a student advisor doesn't just help you plan like your undergraduate journey, they're also really helpful when you're trying to plan for like the future. And let's say you want to go into a specific program that has specific course requirements. So they're also really helpful with ensuring that you're able to implement those into your 4-year schedule or your 5-year schedule. Some of the reasons that I've gone to advising in the past have just been to have been like questions about my degree, like academic requirements, because it shows up as a PDF on your UCalgary portal. And so sometimes they have to manually input courses into there. So that's just some of the reasons I've gone, or applying into the biosciences honors program and logistics with that. One specific experience that I've had that was really helpful was that they're able to get in touch with departments easier than students are able to. So I had a lot of questions about the biological sciences honors program and co-supervisors, and it was kind of hard for me to get in touch with the people in the biosciences program who were able to answer those questions. So the science advising were kind of able to act as a middleman to get me the answers to these questions and CCing me on all of the emails. So they're really helpful in that regard. A tip I would have is I've personally never gone to an in-person appointment. They've always been online. And during enrollment, they always get, during enrollment periods, they're always extremely busy. So if you know you have questions, go as early in the semester as possible, or I guess not around the beginning or the end or during enrollment time, because then you're not able to get the answers to your questions in like a reasonable amount of time.
Yeah, I think that's a good point, right? When you're coming up and you're leaving everything, I don't want to say leaving everything to the last minute, but let's just use that for now. Leaving everything to the last minute, everyone else is too, right? It's not just you. So you do want to be as proactive as you possibly can. And someone who likes to procrastinate themselves, you want to make sure that you do it early, because everyone's going to leave it to the last minute, right? I'm leaving it, oh, my registration is today and I need help right now. But it's you and all of the other students who are trying to register at the same time. So I think, yeah, the biggest thing is plan ahead, meet with the advisors early, meet with them often, even if it's just a quick email of, hey, am I on the right track? Do you have 5 seconds to quickly connect or something like that? And then we're usually quite happy to do that. So yeah, so check in with us nice and early so that we can help you out. Otherwise, what we do is during those kind of more stressful rusher kind of periods, we just do drop-ins and we try to get through as many students as we possibly can. Evan?
Yeah, so I think this year I've probably gone to maybe 10 or 11 like science advising appointments. They're honestly so helpful. If you don't, even if you don't know like what classes are like hard even, and you're trying to balance out your schedule so that you're not taking like 5 of the university's hardest classes all at the same time, you can go and make an appointment for that. If you're just trying to figure out like I'm doing a dual degree, right? I'm doing a combined degree and I need to figure out, okay, so how can I balance this? Do I have to do the breadth requirement for both? Just any questions you can have. They were really helpful for me with that. Another thing is, like it's a lot easier for them to get in touch with different departments of the university, different faculties. When I was so I'm taking some summer classes, and when I was trying to get a letter of permission to take those summer classes, I applied and I didn't hear back for almost 2 months. So I went in and I talked to an advisor and I got my letter of permission approved within like 2 hours, like the same day. Their power within the university, I guess power is kind of a weird word, but their influence within the university is really wide, so they can make a lot of stuff happen for you. If there's a required class that you need to take, but it filled up, you forgot about registration or whatever, they can overload you into the class, which is very, very helpful when you miss your registration date. Yeah, there's honestly, you can go to them for anything. And I'm 99 out of 100 times they'll have an answer.
Perfect. Thank you. Over those, we try to overload you. Sometimes we can't, depending on how large the classroom is and fire capacity and those kinds of things. But yeah, we certainly try to help you with whatever we can possibly do.